کنفرانس آنلاین رئیس جمهور برگزیده مقاومت ایران با شماری از نمایندگان پارلمان اروپا به دعوت کمیته دوستان ایران آزاد در پارلمان اروپا.
وضعیت وخامتبار حقوق بشر در ایران، رژیم متزلزل و تحریم سراسری انتخابات، وظایف اتحادیه اروپا در این شرایط چیست؟ قسمت آخر.
سخنان پاتریسیا تویا، نماینده پارلمان اروپا از ایتالیا و معاون کمیسیون تجارت و تحقیقات و انرژی در پارلمان اروپا. آلخو ویدال کوادراس، رئیس کمیته بین المللی در جستجوی عدالت.
من نمیخواستم این فرصت را برای حمایت از شما و شنیدن سخنان خانم رجوی از دست بدهم. دوباره تاکید میکنم که من در این مبارزه به ویژه در مورد حقوق بشر، حقوق زنان و آزادی که همه باید نسبت به آن متعهد باشند با شما هستم. خانم رجوی به درستی به ما برای اقدام در رابطه با وضعیت ایران فراخوان می‌دهد. تمام آزادی‌ها از مردم گرفته شده است. آزادی بیان، آزادی تشکل‌ها، آزادی‌های اساسی همه از مردم سلب شده است. معترضین دستگیر می‌شوند و مخالفین خودسرانه بازداشت می‌شوند. در آخرین اعتراض سراسری 1500 ایرانی کشته شدند و بسیاری دیگری که بازداشت شدند. زمان نشان داده است که اوضاع بهبود نخواهد یافت. همه این اعمال غیر انسانی باید ما را مجبور به اقدام کند. جامعه جهانی باید وارد عمل شود. مردم ایران از ما انتظار دارند که در پارلمان اروپا عمل کنیم. ملت ایران شجاع و مقاوم است و با وجود سرکوبی که با آن روبروست و به ویژه با وجود بحران اقتصادی و شرایط ویروس کرونا که وضعیت را دشوارتر می کند، در برابر این رژیم مقاومت می کند.
Les sanctions ont également eu des répercussions sur l'économie du pays et sur l'accès des Iraniennes aux médicaments essentiels.
بنابراین میخواهم به شما بگویم که همه ما، همکارانم و من، نگران اوضاع ایران هستیم و فقط میخواهم تاکید کنم که من فراخوان شما را خانم رجوی شنیدم و فراخوان شما را با همکارانم در پارلمان اروپا تکرار خواهم کرد و به شما میگویم که تعهدات من محکمتر از قبل خواهد بود و من همچنان با شما خواهم بود.
Votre parole, j'ai bien réfléchi, aussi les paroles de mes collègues, et je veux dire que je vais renouveler aussi dans cette période, dans cette législature, mon engagement près de vous et près de votre bataille. Merci.
As you know, I am a veteran in the fight against the Iranian regime, together with our friends of the National Council of Resistance of Iran and with Mrs. Rajavi. I've been in this fight for now 20 years, 15 of them as a member of parliament and vice president of the European Parliament, and the last 5 years as former member and president of the In Search of Justice International Committee, together with my colleagues Struan Stevenson, Giulio Terzi, and Paolo Casaca. It is true that many things have happened since Khomeini took power 40 years ago. And the number of atrocities and proxy wars and cheating and violation of human rights and repression and oppression of the own people of the regime has been really appalling. The Iranian regime is really, if not the worst, one of the worst threats, not only for their own people, but for peace, stability in the world. And I want to address very specifically and very personally to all of you, and in particular to the co-chairs of Friends of Free Iran, my good friends Milan and Javier. The policy of the European Union in relation to the Iranian regime for decades, with Solana, with Lady Ashton, with Mogherini, now with my compatriot Josep Borrell, has been always a policy of appeasement, of dialogue, of, let's say, cowardice. And this policy in many periods of time has been more or less followed by the American administrations, in particular in Obama's times. Well, this policy has been a complete failure. Not only it has not worked, not only it has not given any result, but it has been counterproductive. 3 years ago, the regime organized an attack that could have killed dozens of active European parliamentarians and national parliamentarians and former dignitaries and mayors of Europe, and some of you could be dead today because of this attack. And the response, the reaction of the European Union and of the High Representative has been ridiculous because they have done nothing. So this is the first fact that I want to make evident to you. The policy of the European Union in relation to the regime of the last 30 years has been a failure. It does not work. It is even counterproductive. It is a disaster, not only in moral terms, but in practical terms. Only a combination of incompetence, cowardice, and not always transparent interest can explain such a failed policy. So this is the first fact. The second fact is that the regime will never comply with its commitments, not in the nuclear agreement, not in any other compromise or commitment. The regime is our enemy. He has declared publicly as our enemy, and his confessed and explicit goal is to destroy us. So, with these two facts, which are not the product of imagination, but two proven realities, the policy of the European Union in relation to the regime must change. And this is what I'm asking you. I'm asking you, as a veteran in this fight, as a former vice president for 15 years of the parliament, I ask you really, I beg you, and if you allow me to be so bold, I want to give you a mission. I want to give you a mission. And this mission must be led by you, Javier, and by you, Milan, and all members of Friends of Free Iran must be active in the front line of this mission. We have a critical mass of members of the European Parliament, enough to start this mission. And easily, if you work hard with your influence, with your capacity, I'm sure you will multiply this critical mass for 3 or 4 very easily in all political groups. And the mission is the EU policy in relation to the regime must change. You must pursue, you must put pressure, you must not rest until this policy is changed. And the way to do it, I'm not going to tell you because you are very experienced and competent politicians. You know how. You must put pressure on the council. You must put pressure on Borrell until they change this policy. Organize all kinds of actions until you create a state of opinion in the European Parliament, a majority in favor of a complete change of policy in relation to the Iranian regime, and oblige them, force them to react. This is the mission I dare, and you must excuse me, because perhaps I go beyond my competences, but you will excuse me because I'm sure you understand my passion that is also shared with you in this matter. You have this mission. Your mission is to change the EU policy in relation to Iran and to replace this policy, this pusillanimous, ridiculous policy of dialogue, appeasement, for a policy of firmness, a policy of sanctions, a policy of political and diplomatic pressure until the regime cracks down, together with the efforts inside the country by the resistance that you must also support as much as you can. This is my message. I am really happy for all I have heard from you. We are very proud that the torch we handle for so many years is now in such good or even better hands. Thank you very much. Don't forget about this mission and please accomplish it.